Back when keyboards were first invented, they were always just boring gray devices covered in scary, confusing buttons. But eventually in the 90s, they started making these insane novelty kid-friendly keyboards that I could only dream of having as a child, covered in brightly colored 3D details and themed after various brands you already know and love. These whimsical doodads came from the ever-present shift in marketing to convince kids that computers are cool. They exist to make learning how to use a computer as fun and exciting as possible, which is such a stark difference from the boring gray office devices they used to be known as. But this was also a very experimental era where keyboards came in completely random shapes and layouts, which results in some confusingly cursed gizmos. From keyboards that don't even have keys to horribly tacky designs, these are such unique doohickeys that I am absolutely obsessed with. But ever since then, keyboards have advanced so much. Nowadays we have gaming keyboards covered in RGB lights with customizable switches and more. But what if these tacky novelty keyboards from the 90s still hold up today? Like, how's the ergonomics? What do the switches feel like? Can I genuinely ditch my gaming RGB keyboard for one of these, or do they deserve to stay in the 90s and 2000s? So today I bought a bunch of these random silly keyboards and we'll be seriously reviewing them to see if they still hold up in the modern day. So let's dive into the world of wacky novelty keyboards, starting out with the little Tikes Kidboard. Take a look at this absolute unit of pure peak performance. This doodad will have you rising to the top ranks in even the most competitive video games. Little Tikes is a brand that normally specializes in plastic baby toys, so it's utterly ridiculous to find out that they made a fully functional mechanical keyboard in the 90s called the Kidboard. This gaming device features a whimsical bright yellow and blue color scheme that instantly transports me back to my childhood. Although I have no idea what this wacky shape is supposed to be. Like, these things look like eyes, but what the frick are these? Dinosaur scales? Hair? And for some reason there's these divots on the end that are clearly meant to be handles for some reason, which doesn't make any sense, because how often do you pick up a keyboard? The Kidboard is not just meant for kids, it's meant for actual babies. As you can see with how every letter key has a silly little icon of something that starts with that letter, which is actually really cute. WASD is now watermelon, apple, star, and dog, which is way easier to remember. This way you'll never forget what buttons to push in the heat of the moment during competitive video games. Also, the escape key looks like a stop sign, which is pretty cool. But to truly put this keyboard to the test, let's do some gaming with it. Obviously, you also need a mouse to play games with, so good thing I still own the official Little Tikes Cozy Coupe mouse to go along with it. This is such an utterly ridiculous gizmo. It even has a freaking roof. What kind of mouse has a roof? The shape isn't really that comfortable to use, and there isn't even a scroll wheel, which kinda sucks. Also, it uses the ball mechanism instead of the modern laser, so it's very inaccurate. But just look at how funny they look next to each other. This is awesome. Since they're from the 90s, they actually use a PS2 cable instead of USB. So let's plug them into an adapter and now we're good to go. It barely even fits on my desk. Look how massive it is. And these look so funny next to each other. Oh my god. And now let's finally see how the switches sound like. Okay, that's definitely really loud and annoying. Let me press the house button, the bear button, and even the cat button. Alright, so I got this notepad to type on, but unfortunately, I must inform you that this thing doesn't even freaking work. Only like half the buttons even work, as you can see. Not even the spacebar works. I can't type anything with this. And I can't even do a gaming test with it either because, as you can see, WASD doesn't even fully work. I can't walk forward. I can only walk sideways and backwards. But even if it did work, I can tell this would not be that comfortable to use. It's pretty unfortunate that the keys don't work, so I couldn't really give it a good try. But after pretending to type on it for a while, I can still confidently say that this keyboard sucks. The keys need way too much force to actually push down, and they're annoyingly loud. Also, the wrist rest is the worst one I've ever seen in my life. It's just misshapen hard plastic that literally juts into your wrist. So the wrist rest being there is actively bad for my wrist. And as silly as it looks, all the extra details make it way too big to fit on your desk. It's hard to face the reality that the whimsical doodad actually sucks to use when you find out your goat is washed. So let's just forget about this and move on to the next keyboard, the Crayola EZ-Type. Yes, the company that normally makes crayons and markers also made a fully functional keyboard, and it's freaking massive! I had no idea the keys would be this big when I bought it. Besides that glaring issue, it's such a silly doodad with the bubbly shape and rainbow color scheme. It even uses the freaking Comic Sans font. There's also little crayons on the arrow keys, which is pretty cute. Although the layout is a bit abnormal, like how the escape key is just over there for some reason. Also, it's missing a bunch of random keys, and everything in this area is just kinda jumbled around. around. Thankfully, there's a very useful feature where the vowels are a different color for some reason, just in case you forget which ones are vowels while you're gaming. I can't wait to try this thing out, so good thing this gizmo released a lot more recently in 2013, so it's just a USB to plug in. Alright, let's test out these giant keys. Ugh, that doesn't feel good. What the frick? Ew. We also have a few bonus buttons up here, like the volume buttons. But then there's also just the calculator button, which actually does just open a bunch of calculators. Oh my gosh. No. How is that useful? And there's also the computer button. See what that does. And it just opens this. What the hell is the point of this button? Alright, so I did this typing test on my normal gaming keyboard and got about 100 words per minute. But now let's see what my score will be on this monstrosity. Okay, here we go. Oh my, where's the button? Where's the hyphen? Oh my god. E. Wait, it stopped working! It stopped working! Okay, it's back, it's back. It just stopped working randomly. What the hell? No. 36 words per minute? That was so awful. I hate this thing. My hands keep getting misaligned to where the letters are. It's just so much bigger. Thankfully, WASD works so I can play some Minecraft. Oh, this is so weird to play a video game with. I play Minecraft. It's still. The keys are so unsatisfying to press though, and you have to reach so much farther to hit the number keys. This thing sucks. Well, sadly, this is yet another horrific keyboard that should not be used by anyone. The massive keys make it literally impossible to type with. I never know what key I'm pressing because they're all so spread apart. Also, the membrane switches themselves are inconsistent and mushy, and I hate it. And sometimes the plastic part of the keycap slams onto the base, making this horrid sound while typing. I love the cheap Crayola Comic Sans aesthetic and the bubbly shape, but this gizmo is completely unusable. So let's move on to another 2000s keyboard, the Spongebob Keyboard. I present to you yet another device with a whimsical bubbly shape, although this time it actually is bubble themed. And it's also yet another keyboard covered in Comic Sans too. It's honestly a really aesthetic item though. I love SpongeBob merch. The pastel color scheme and rounded corners on the keys is very soothing to look at, although the SpongeBob theming in question is really just a bunch of random PNGs slapped around. And for some reason they put "I love bubbles" at the top, as if that's his catchphrase he says all the time. And finally, this device actually has good membranes. Every key press feels like squishing a bubble. It's so satisfying. Anyways, let's plug it in and try to use it. It is time for the SpongeBob typing test. Alright, let's see how good I can do on this. Here we go. Okay, I'm going way faster now. Look at me go! SpongeBob! Oh, 90 words per minute. That's so good. What the hell? That's literally so close to my gaming keyboard score. What the frick? That was really good. This thing's kind of cracked. What the hell? Obviously, we gotta do a gaming test, so we're back in Minecraft. But unfortunately, it doesn't work in video games. So as it turns out, this keyboard is specifically programmed to not hold down the keys when you press them. So you just can't move forward in a video game. And they did that on purpose. It's not even broken. Like, look, if I spam it, I kind of go forward every once in a while. God damn it, why did it have to fail me? No. Sadly, this keyboard has committed the horrific sin of hardware programming it so you can't hold down any of the keys, which makes it completely unusable for gaming. But besides that, it's genuinely a really solid compact membrane keyboard. If you want to game in style, SpongeBob truly represents peak performance. The pure skill and technique he uses to make Krabby Patties will carry you to victory in any competitive game. If only you can actually hold down the keys and use it in games. Although, as charming as it looks, the theming isn't that crazy. We can definitely get crazier. So for the next keyboard, let's go all the way back to the 90s with the insane Winnie the Pooh keyboard. I used to love Winnie the Pooh as a kid. No, not that one. Not that one either. The original wholesome one. So if I had this gizmo as a child, I would be ecstatic. The sheer dedication to the theming is astonishing. The base of the keyboard is a magnificent 3D sculpture of the characters flying around on a bunch of balloons, which is so unbelievably extra. I can't believe how much effort they put into these intricate 3D details. The characters pop out, the balloons are colorful and shiny. This gizmo truly embodies the wholesome silliness of Winnie the Pooh, and I'm all here for it. The keys themselves also have a very whimsical color scheme, and there's even a B spacebar. Although sadly, the switches are really worn down on the one I got. They keep getting stuck and need so much force to push down, and it's also really loud to type on. I also have this horrific Winnie the Pooh mouse to go along with it too. They literally just turned his whole head into a mouse. This is so cursed. And you have to use his eyebrows to click. It's so uncomfortable and tacky, but it's just so silly. I can't hate it. Just look at these ergonomics and tell me that's not peak performance. I dare you. And now that we have the ultimate Winnie the Pooh gaming setup, let's plug them into the adapter and try them out. Look at how funny they look next to each other. Oh my god. The sheer whimsy radiating from my desk right now is insane. There's no way I'm gonna beat my Spongebob score, right? Wait, I'm actually not doing that bad. Okay. Oh my god, 85? That's really good. That was really uncomfortable though, but goddamn, I actually did pretty good. And now we can do some gaming. We're back in Minecraft. This keyboard's gonna give me arthritis so fast though. My wrist actually hurts using this. Pick it still. Also, it really is just way too big. Like, my mouse keeps running into it. Jesus Christ. All right, I'm done now. Besides the worn out switches, my biggest issue with this device is how freaking tall it is. It hurts my hands so much trying to reach all the way to the keys. This desperately needs a wrist rest. But upon resting my fingers on the keys, I was instantly transported back to my childhood. It's a special item that's unafraid of being itself. And honestly, I respect that. It may not be comfy to use, but it's still a beautiful gizmo. But when it comes to 3D detailed keyboards, this barely even scratches the surface. Some of the most whimsical keyboards to ever be produced are now elusive and rare, and mostly lost to time, such as probably the coolest keyboard I've ever seen in my life, the Flintstones keyboard from the 90s. This thing literally looks like a whimsical caveman contraption they would actually use in the Flintstones show. The sheer commitment to the theme is astonishing. It looks like it's carved out of purple rock, so it fits right in with the show's color scheme. And there's so many little details, like the in-universe company name etched into the bottom, the Flintstones logo at the top, the custom font, the bone spacebar. But the most peculiar part is the fake wooden handles? What's with the 90s obsession with adding handles to keyboards? I don't understand. But they didn't stop there, because this device came from an entire Flintstones themed PC kit, complete with a custom frame for CRT monitors, a mouse and a mouse pad, and even a disc holder that looks like the Flintstones car. The true endgame 10,000 BC gaming setup. The brand that made all this was called Brainworks, a company that has since completely disappeared. Trust me, I literally can't find any information about them, although what I do know is that they made a few more whimsical keyboards, such as the slimy Nickelodeon keyboard. Once again, it has freaking handles for some reason, and the base of the model is made of transparent green plastic, which is so aesthetic. I love transparent technology. And it even has a custom silly font and doodles on the keys, which is really fun to see. And once again, it is a whole PC setup, complete with a weird rubber mouse and another insanely detailed 3D monitor frame. I love how all the box art is slimy and colorful. It literally radiates the 90s cool kid energy. And finally, Brainworks also made a futuristic Star Trek keyboard, along with a mouse and monitor frame to truly transform your keyboard into a full-on spaceship. All these keyboards put so much effort into the theming, it blows the competition out of the water. So I have no idea why the company just completely disappeared. But what's even more mysterious is the boxes mention a Spider-Man PC setup as well. And after searching for weeks, I haven't found any proof of this existing whatsoever. If anyone even has one of these keyboards, or even just more information about this company, please tell me, I need to know. But now let's move on to some actually cursed keyboards, such as the elusive Dino Kids keyboard. This is yet another mysterious device with little to no information about its origin. And just look at this feral creature! The keyboard itself has a whole head, legs, and a tail. And what the frick is this giant red part? It looks like they surgically attached the keys to his body. When you look into his eyes, you see pure suffering. The sheer pain he feels at every keystroke is unimaginable. At least all the keys have a very cute pastel color scheme for some reason. I also found a picture of its box art, which is covered in some confusing sentences, such as, next generation young keyboard, cute dinosaur style. I mean, you could say it's cute, but I'm not gonna agree. And I even found a Japanese version of it, which just leaves me even more confused about its mysterious origin. But the most cursed keyboard I could possibly find is the even more mysterious Frog family keyboard. This contraption looks like a menace to society. I absolutely hate it, but at the same time, I want one so bad. Unfortunately, this mysterious brand didn't stop at just keyboards, because they made a whole suite of computer electronics that all have these scary 3D eyeballs, from freaky frog speakers to even webcams. And they didn't even stop at frogs either, because I also found a ladybug, penguin, and duck devices as well. I'm not convinced this is even a real brand. Just look at the logo. It looks like a fake company you would see in a sitcom or something, not real life. And to make matters even worse, I actually found a video of someone using the keyboard, which reveals a horrifying truth. The eyes freaking move? How did they manage to get even scarier? The keyboard's eyes stare directly into your soul, unblinking, jiggling with every vibration. The speakers, the mouse, the webcam too. Don't fall for their tricks. They are the hunters and you are prey. What a terrifying set of devices, oh my god. But now with all those horrifyingly cursed ones finally out of the way, let's go back to the silly ones with the Kidtronic color keys. The company called Kidtronic specializes in making those boring gray keyboards for offices, but for some reason in 1994, they switched their name to Kidtronic and released the color keys, a beautifully colorful keyboard that has the same build quality, comfortability, and layout as the industry standard, while being whimsical at the same time. So all those problems of weird, inconvenient shapes and layouts are completely non-existent here. The color scheme itself is satisfying and vibrant, and they keep it simple by only sticking to 3 main colors: the blue base along with yellow and red keys. There's also a silly logo at the top that looks so 90s. And even these silly labels for stuff like caps lock. And the switches themselves are finally actually really good. It feels great to type on, and there's such a nice clacky sound. Also, the box itself is such a whimsical mess of funny quotes and marketing, constantly trying to convince you that this keyboard is for the cool kids.
Hell yeah, look at the wacky box art. There's so many funny phrases on this thing, such as, not to be confused with the boring gray computer stuff your parents buy. The goofy instructions, warranty information, inane detail, and techno babble is for your parents. Techno babble? What kind of word is that? I'm gonna start using the word techno babble. Warning! Attention, Kidtronic gear is intended for use of kids only. Adults exposed to the contents of this package may suffer symptoms of amusement, delight, merriment, and in some cases, giddiness or glee. Oh my god, guys, I'm scared. I'm an adult. Am I gonna feel glee? But now let's see how good I'll do on the typing test. I have high hopes for this one, because it's actually really comfortable to use. So, let's give it a go. Okay, this is feeling really good, actually. Oh my god, yes! Okay, here we go. Oh my god, 109 words per minute! I locked in so hard! Wait, isn't that better than my gaming keyboard score? I think I just got lucky. This thing is cracked! Like, these switches from the 90s are still so good. And obviously, it feels really good to play a video game on. Like, WASD feels so natural on it. I like this keyboard a lot! Fit it still! Another! Fit it still! Another! This keyboard is goated!
After actually using it, I am absolutely feeling symptoms of giddiness and glee. This thing is sick. It's comfortable, the switches feel nice, it's the full 100% layout. Even though I do love the tackiness of the other keyboards, this one keeps it real and functional. And what's crazy is I pretty much get the same typing speed on this gizmo as my gaming keyboard. And as you saw, sometimes I do even better. It even works pretty well for gaming too. This can genuinely be your daily driver, it's almost perfect. My only issue is sadly no Windows key for some reason, and the backspace is too small. But those issues pale in comparison to the final boss of keyboards. I present to you the evil Kidtech My First Keyboard. This disgusting contraption is made with so many baby-friendly design choices that it ends up being utterly horrific. It barely even resembles a keyboard at all anymore. First off, it has no switches whatsoever, because the buttons are replaced with a sleek flat surface you can press on, which is perfect for any gamer that values a more modern minimalist design. But now we gotta talk about the layout, because it is horrendous. The letters are laid out in ABC order. The spacebar is over there, the enter is over here, the arrow keys are like that, and all the function keys keys just have random shapes for some reason. And it doesn't even have an F11 or 12. Why even put F1 through 10 if you're not gonna include arguably the most important ones? The default full screen and screenshot buttons. And besides that, a whole plethora of other useful keys are also completely missing, such as Control, Shift, Alt, Delete, Tab, and more. Obviously it's made for babies, and you definitely don't want your baby accidentally deleting System 32, so it makes sense to remove all those buttons. Although the weirdest parental feature is that you have to plug in a normal keyboard into this keyboard for it to work. It's some kind of like pass-through thing that you could turn on and off, I don't know. So after wiring up these doodads together with various adapters, I could finally actually use it.
All that effort with the adapters just to use the worst keyboard ever made. Alright, well first let's see if I can even type with this gizmo. Oh my god, it actually works! Oh my god, look at that! Ah! You have to actually press it directly in the middle. Oh no, this typing test is gonna be awful. Here we go, the ultimate typing test. Let's see if we could get more than 2 words per minute. 3 words per minute, let's go! I'm stressing out right now. I'm trying to go as fast as I can right now. There's no question mark. I'm stressing out, I'm running out of time! Comma, there's no comma! No! 13! I didn't think my score could get any worse after the Crayola keyboard, but oh my god. I'm just like in a constant confusion of where the buttons are, and it's also really hard to actually hit the button. Like you have to fully hit the direct middle of it. Alright, well now we're back on Minecraft. What the frick? Wait, stop! I forgot I did that! No! Ah! Alright, well first let me set the keybinds to the arrow keys, because I am not about to try to do WASD. Oh no, this is terrible. I have to use my pinky to press the spacebar. No. Ow, ow, that hurts my hand. Pick and steal. Pick and steal. Alright, I'm done. I hate using this thing. No.
Needless to say, trying to use this thing was easily the worst gaming experience I've ever had. There's no satisfying push to the buttons at all, and the layout is just abysmal. I don't know what to say. I know this is for actual babies, so I can't really blame it, but god, it was such a funny, unique challenge to use in a video game. I also noticed that there's like this little electric sound that plays whenever you press a key for some reason. Overall, these keyboards are such unique devices filled with so much childish whimsy. Besides the Kidtech one though, that one can burn in keyboard hell. Although sadly, all of them have at least one glaring issue / deal breaker. The best contender for daily driver is easily the Kidtech color keys, but still, it doesn't have a freaking Windows key. The Winnie the Pooh one is too tall and the keys get stuck. The Spongebob one doesn't let you hold them down. The Crayola keys are way too big. And the little Tikes one is just uncomfortable. At least whimsical keyboards are not completely left in the past. Mechanical keyboards are literally infinitely customizable, and there's even still official brand collabs all the time. But the silly bubbly shapes and 3D details will be greatly missed. Even though they're inconvenient or uncomfortable, there's a special charm to these devices that I truly appreciate, and using them as a kid is probably magical. But anyways, make sure to like and subscribe if you enjoyed, and comment down below what your favorite keyboard is. Okay, bye!